And the method.
Episode 35. Welcome to the Mentors. Matt LaHood, Clinton. We're back again for another episode of the Mentors. So, Matty LaHood's going to hit us with a question today.
So you know what I'm like, Cloud? Strip the Band-Aid off for me. Don't worry about the fluff.
Just get into it, straight to the point.
I'll
I
leave
love
the
it.
fluff to you. It's all right.
Leave the fluff to me. I'm a fluffer.
No, we need the fluff. So anyway, on quick question, round Australia, you're seeing everything. What's happening in your view in the real estate space? Not necessarily I'm talking about what's happening in the principals' minds out there at the moment. What's happening in the space of real estate generally? Are you finding, right, and we're in March, yeah?
Yeah. We're in March here now, and just working with agents across Australia now, Matty. I was in Melbourne last week for a couple of days, and okay, from a principal's point of view, talking to a lot of them, some of them are just getting this feeling of this inconsistency happening in their businesses right now. So good month, bad month, rich agent, poor agent type scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really seeing a lot of level of, for them finding that tension around cash flow, right, and how to manage that cash flow in their offices, right. So some of them are relying on rent rolls, and then others, don't have large rent rolls, and they don't have that basic, like that stuff that comes in each month, that little smaller rent rolls, and they're like stressing out because then they're trying to get sales across the line, and as you may be aware, and I know, sorry, I should say, is, there are less sales out there in the marketplace, etc.
Are you starting to see consolidation?
I am starting to see a lot of consolidation.
What do you mean by that, sorry? Consolidation.
So consolidation meaning that right now, teams are becoming smaller and becoming more effective. So agents that had, maybe 3 or 4 in a team, maybe coming up, if that maybe 4 or 5, they bring it down to 3.
Yep.
That type of consolidation. And I'm also seeing consolidation just, also just their personal spending habits.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I was more or less what I've been seeing, and I thought you probably seen too, Clinton, in relation to consolidation, is 2 or 3 real estate agencies in the same area joining together.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's more where I'm starting to see people potentially maybe wanting to
and I'm actually seeing
to join forces and scale down, overheads.
Well, it's fascinating.
Economies of scale, that sort of thing.
We were talking before the show, and I mentioned to you 6 months ago, we sort of were thinking 80% of the business is in real estate in terms of the content that we make.
Yep.
We need to make a move and do something different.
Yep.
One of the things we did at the start of this year was to actually get into a collective of businesses that offer different services.
So you're already there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And rather than invest in all those people coming under the banner and I have to pay for it and don't necessarily have enough of the sales coming through, these are all separate businesses that just collaborate.
Yeah, how good's that? So potentially, Clouds, are you seeing similar to what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
that
so
place?
I'm going into different areas, just different suburbs, and the weaker offices, they're selling their rent rolls. I'm seeing a lot of agents selling their rent rolls right now.
But the principals are still staying in sales?
No, some are just getting out. Some are getting out, especially probably more when I'd say probably north of 45 or 50 years of age. They're sort of going, you know what? I've done my time. I've been in the industry for 20 years. The real estate model is not the way it was 20 years ago. It's a little bit different today.
Okay.
And, I'm not making the money. Do I need this stress? Maybe if I can sell my rent roll and close my office or consolidate with another office, I'll be better off.
I'm seeing some opportunities where people are wanting to roll businesses in, and they then free themselves up from the management side, but see this market as opportunity to make more money.
Yes.
Rather than being a small operator, just join in with a bigger group or whatever it may be.
Yeah, true.
And
true.
cut all their overheads out, get rid of their accounts, trust accounts, and sort of that.
Totally.
Get rid of all their rent, heat, light, power, and just list and sell.
Yes.
And cash out their rent roll, maybe pay down some debt.
Yes.
I'm seeing that in a big way.
Huge amounts of that happening in that terms of consolidation. Now, probably flipping it on the next side, like thinking, what am I seeing out in the trenches with agents at the moment?
Yep.
Probably the biggest thing is mindset, Matty.
Yep.
Just a lot of agents very emotional, just dealing with their demons at the moment, just basically they're finding
So what do you reckon?
Finding a struggle.
Agent comes to you and they go, "Look, Clouds, I'm flat as a biscuit. I can't get out of bed. I'm struggling.
Yep.
I'm not. I've got overheads. I can't clear them.
Yep.
What? I mean, you're sort of like that's a psychology job, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Doing a lot of that at the moment.
So what?
I feel like just changing my name to Lifeline right now.
I thought it'd be like Dr. Phil Encina.
Oh, can I tell you,
Dr. Phil Encina?
jokes aside, because there are some agents out there doing it extremely tough, and I wish we had Xavier here to talk a little bit about mindset. But
let's just jump. Sorry to jump in on that,
yeah.
but I mean, you're not being complacent. We're not seeing people. You're seeing people as in bad that they're like lost hope in or you're just saying they've lost hope in the industry in that sense, or do you want to expand on that?
I would say, Matty, and just give you a real case scenario. A couple of weeks ago, a gentleman reached out to me and was looking at getting some coaching and so forth. And he's got literally, just so you can understand, he's got like 2 settlements to come in.
Yep.
Hasn't got much in the pipeline happening.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, he said, I don't even know if in 2 months I'll be able to pay the mortgage on our house, and I've got 3 little kids.
Right. Jesus. Okay.
So when you get that out, the first thing I say to myself is, how can I help this guy, change the pattern of where he's at the moment?
Yeah.
Because the first thing is you've got to break the pattern, because straight away I could see he was defeated. And when you see people defeated, their body language is down.
The clients are picking that up as well.
Correct. So, from that end, the first thing I just say to people is, number one, understand, you're the narrative of your own story. You can either become the hero or you can end up being the victim. So the first thing is, how are you going to write this right now for yourself? But Claudio, the market is tough. And I just said, well, the market's the market, but is it going to be tough for your family if you don't get yourself out of this? So think about your family right now.
Did you give advice?
Give him advice to the level. So it's more of a mindset thing. So I sort of said, okay, so what do we need to do to break the pattern? So when you're defeated and you're flat, and you think the world's against you, you're probably only making like 5 calls. You're probably maybe going on maybe 1 appointment each week. You're probably not letterbox dropping because you really can't afford to pay for the printing or whatever else. So I said, first thing I said is, I'm a big believer, Matty, is in looking at things short-term and long-term consequences. So I said, if you continue this pattern that you're in, where will this land you in 6 months' time?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Right? And he said, oh, well, probably the same. I said, no, you'll be worse off. I said, you'll probably maybe lose your home, right? You can have financial stress with your wife. And I said, that brings a lot of stress. Your family might be disbanded. I don't know. But you've got to realize what this is going to happen in the next 6 months if you don't break the pattern here today. So I said, what you got to do to break that pattern today is work out what would a hero look like versus a victim. So a hero would look like, no matter what's happening in the marketplace, and I know in one of our episodes you said, control the things you can control. You can't control what the banks are doing or what buyers are doing.
Control the controllables.
Control the controllables. So I said, how many calls do you think you need to make? And he said, probably 30. I said, you know what? If you're going to go down, I want you to go down swinging. I said, are you a survivor? And he said, yes. Well, a survivor doesn't do 30. A survivor in this market is 100 calls a day. I said, you've got to go hard. 100 calls a day. I said, you've got to book 5 appointments a week, 5 face-to-faces, 1 a day.
That's great.
I said, you need to go and, get, letterbox drops out every day. Build your profile, build your brand. Don't stop. People will think you're out of real estate if you're not hitting your marketplace. So do 500 letterboxes or 1,000 a week, right? So we just sit down and just work out some certain things. You've got to work out your behaviors, right? And I said, you know what? You have to show up every day and do it. I know it's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, either you're going to play bigger than your circumstances or you're going to let your circumstances consume you. This little thing will be this big thing and it'll just gobble you up. So I said, how can you play bigger than your circumstances right now? That's the way you got to play in this market.
That's great dialogue, isn't it? Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, he rang me yesterday. No, what's today? No, Monday. So 4 days ago? We're on Friday today. And it gives me joy when you hear people saying, hey, Claudio, you know what? I've got 2 potential listings that I'm going up for, this week and next week. That I've got one this week, one next week. Things are starting to change a little bit. I've got an offer on a property because he had a listing that wasn't moving. I said, go and do this, have this dialogue with the agent, the owner of the property. But more importantly is when you get yourself into this first thing is, where's this going to land you? Number one, you got to ask yourself deep, meaningful questions. because when you ask yourself these questions, like where will this land you in the next 6 months? There's a shift.
Yep.
Like you got to start living your friggin' life, and your identity will change.
So, Cloud, someone listening to this right now is flat.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking the worst case. I'm either getting out of the industry. That's not the end of the world. But but
if you're going to get out of the industry, I want you to go out of the industry swinging.
Okay.
I don't want you to get out of the industry.
But if somebody's
and not trying,
if somebody's worse than
point.
this mentally and got a personal issue around finances or whatever, you're strongly suggesting, as I am, to reach out quickly,
100%
to friends, family. You, me, doesn't matter who they ring, right? Ring somebody.
Whoever, ring
Lifeline,
somebody.
whatever it may be.
Lifeline.
Lifeline,
like ring,
whatever.
Yep, correct.
Because nothing's that worse that we can't deal with it yet.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%. And I'll put it out there on the record. If anyone, because I really care about people, if you're at that level, like this gentleman was 2 weeks ago when he reached out to me, you can Google me, email me, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's just having that conversation with someone.
Look, nobody should be at that space where at the end of the day, it's an industry, it's a job, it's etc. It's not the end of the world if you want to get out of real estate. It's not an ego thing.
No.
Sometimes you just have to put your hand up.
Yes.
And so when you put your hand up, you'll be surprised at people that come.
You've got to put
into your
things
life.
into perspective too.
Exactly.
And like I said to this gentleman, because he's got 3 little kids. I said, you know what? If this doesn't turn around for you in 2 months, maybe look at do something else.
Yeah, correct.
Like literally, like go and get yourself a job where you can make $50,000 or $60,000.
Yeah.
He's actually got a good profession. He's a teacher, and I said, man, go back into teaching. I mean, teachers get paid maybe
amazing,
$100K. He goes, I don't really enjoy it, but I said, but you got to be realistic too. You got 3 little ones as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I think,
but you know what? It is very much a mental game right now.
Yeah, totally.
And sometimes, and I actually said to him, I said, I said, write down the 5 most important people in your life and do it for them. Because
it's interesting because this might help. Somebody asked me how I've been in the game for so long and survived 30 years. I just choose, this might be just the way I'm wired, I don't know. I think my wife thinks I'm mad, but anyway. I just choose not to accept like what's in front of me all the time. I just go and create. Like,
That's it.
Luke, you and I did that video before. You just got to find a way to create things in any marketplace. And if you keep innovating, you don't even see what's happening in the market.
You know what it is,
Just
Matty?
keep networking, connecting with people, going to events, staying positive, meeting other agents. And you don't actually. I couldn't even really tell you because it's only what I'm hearing from everyone else. If I was selling today, I couldn't. Wouldn't be. I'm not interested in what's happening in the market.
Well, you know what, Matty? The reality is in Clinton as well. Like there's no room for emotion in the big league right now. You can't get emotional.
No.
With ups and downs and ebbs and flows, the deal that you thought you had across the line fell over, the listing you thought you were going to get and you're hoping that listing was going to then pay for the mortgage for the next 3 months didn't come along.
You can't bank it like that.
You can't bank it. You just can't let
mightn't
emotions.
Be the industry for everyone, is it?
Yeah, no, totally not. But if you are in a dark place, hey, happy for you to reach out to me or, go to some professional people. I'm no pro at this sort of stuff, but one thing I am seeing, Matt, is you asked in your original question on the show today is what am I seeing out there? Some agents are doing it extremely tough on a mindset level.
Yep.
And it's like, what do you do to break that pattern? That's what you got to be thinking because
it's just not worth it. It's not worth your health to be in that space. Get out of the industry it's not for everyone. Is it?
It's not because
commission-based businesses aren't for everyone.
Some people don't want to do 100 calls a day. That's
exactly
okay,
right.
but that's what's required in the market when you're doing it tough. You got to actually get to work 2 hours earlier, finish 2 hours later.
Yep.
And it's just the way you got to adapt in the market. You got to work a little bit harder, but then the good times will come around. To work as hard.
That's exactly right.
How much do you guys love what you do? I mean, to have done it for 30, 20, however long.
I don't look at it as work, Clint. That's the thing. So it's not. I don't actually ever say I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't. It's not in my sort of vocabulary. My family and things just know that's it. That's what I do. It's a people business. Right? I think the first thing is real estate's a people business. If you're not a people person, it's hard to be in real estate because you have to connect with people.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing all day is connect with people, people you work with.
It was so funny.
I was just going to say that, I think one of the key differentiators here is the fact that if you really love what you do, then first of all, it doesn't feel like work. And then second of all, you actually end up doing things above and beyond to actually get...
You don't really care what the market's doing because you're staying in this business. Like I've got a life sentence in this business, right? So like at the end of the day, I'm not getting out of it, right? So,
it sounds like you love it.
I just can't see I've backed myself into a corner where I had to make it work because I don't have any other skills, right?
Yeah.
In terms of I didn't do any medical degrees, or I don't have any carpentry skills. I'm not handy. I don't have this. I'm good with people. That's one thing I've been told from this and it's a people business. So, you've got to make the best of what you can. So I think, Cloud, some of those people in that space, they might not have backed themselves into the same corner that you and I have, and you backed yourself into the training corner.
Yes.
I backed myself into the real estate corner, and then recently in the last 15 years into the leadership corner.
Yes.
Which is even a harder job than,
100%.
Leadership's even harder, as the leaders that are listening to this know, because when you're an agent, you've got vendors that keep turning over all the time.
Yeah.
And you get new vendors. When you're a leader, you've got the same people you're working with for a long time, and you've got to either get them to like you very quickly or you to like them very quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're not turning over people all the time, right?
And you know what? As we wrap, this session up today, this episode, it was funny. I interviewed a guy the other day, and I said, "So tell me, so why real estate now?" "Oh, I'm a people person and I love property." I said, "That's great. After 1 year, you'll hate people and you'll hate property." All right, guys.
We're done.
That wraps up episode 35. Thanks for joining us here on The Mentors. We'll see you in episode 36. Thanks, gang.
We can't finish like that. I'm sorry.
Too funny.
It's too negative.
Too funny.
We're going to lift it up a bit. We're a bit a bit too serious.
No, it's good.
Thanks, guys.
Excuse me, Matt.
Hey, guys. Thank you.
Got something great from this episode? It would mean the world to us if you passed it on. Tune in each week as we mentor a new agent. Have a question? Want to be on the show? Get in touch with Claudio Encina, Matt LaHood, or visit our Facebook page. The Mentors is brought to you by Sprinkler.media.